digging in just briefly to some of the history of this political correctness freakout. There was a New York Times piece in 1990 headlined "The Rising Hegemony of the Politically Correct." It's everything you'd imagine. And it quotes one graduate student in comparative literature at Berkeley who says that, quote, "politically correct discourse is a kind of fundamentalism," end quote, one that gives rise to, quote, "prefab opinions." And that among its features, this political correctness, this Berkeley student says, so remember, this is a Berkeley student, so he's supposed to be the one who's really offended by like hippy-dippy Berkeley, that the features of this discourse are, quote, "tenacity, sanctimoniousness, huffiness, and a stubborn lack of a sense of humor." That was in the New York Times. New York Magazine in January of 1991 ran a cover piece blaring out the question, "Are you politically correct? Am I guilty of racism, sexism, classism? Am I guilty of ageism, ableism, lookism? Am I logocentric? Do I say Indian instead of Native American? Pet instead of animal companion?" And so that was on the cover of New York Magazine. And then later in the magazine, it says, "The new fascists worry about you. They see racism, oppression, and sexism everywhere." It goes on as you would typically imagine, but those are some of the kind of origins of this discourse that we've seen drafting off the conservative Alan Bloom 1987 Closing of the American Mind discourse, the kind of William F. Buckley push forward. It's all of a piece of like reacting to the opening of academic space to new voices and the need of the establishment to then tamp down on that and say, "You're not wrong, establishment people with power already, people who are going to lose their power. You're not wrong for being offended by this. It's them. They're wrong for even bringing this to your attention."